The commissioning of the Dangote petroleum refinery is a big deal for Nigeria. For decades now, Africa's biggest oil producer has relied mainly on refined petroleum imports for its domestic consumption, spending scarce foreign exchange in the process. This massive Dangote crude oil refinery is expected to put an end to that and even do much more.
I welcome the President of Senegal.
It's the reason President Muhammadu Buhari led 5 other African heads of states to this event to formally launch the refinery.
We recognize that without active participation of the private sector and a strong commitment to public-private partnership, our economy would continue to remain severely challenged and our economic growth impeded. Government, therefore, will and should continue to provide an enabling environment and encourage innovative public-private partnership in all sectors of our economy.
What makes West Africa, and indeed Africa, better will make each of our individual countries better and more prosperous. This spectacular project, the Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Complex, does exactly that, makes West Africa better and stronger.
Apart from having the capacity to refine 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day, the refinery will produce petrol, diesel, jet fuel and polypropylene. It also can refine various grades of crude.
Our first goal is to ramp up production of the various production to ensure that within this year, we are able to fully satisfy our nation's demand for higher quality products to enable us to eliminate the tragedy of importing dependency and import dependency and stop once and for all the dumping in our market of toxic substandard petroleum products. Our first product will be in the market before the end of July, beginning of August this year.
Nigeria is banking on the 18 billion refinery to save around 30% of its annual forex spending on petroleum products import.
This refinery is more than able to meet all of Nigeria's domestic fuel consumption, whilst the excess production will be available for export. This will not only aid our domestic production needs, but also help in generating export revenue for our country.
50% of the funding for the refinery came from the African industrialist Aliko Dangote, while Nigerian and foreign banks provided the remaining 50% through finance, and a substantial part of the commercial loan has been paid back. Altogether, it took 6 years to get this refinery constructed, and now that it has been commissioned, the country is banking on it to help it solve some of its problems and then transform the country into a net exporter of petroleum products. But most importantly, the country is hoping that this refinery would help it solve the controversial petrol subsidy problem that the government has been trying to get rid of for a very long time. Deji Bademasi, CGTN, Lagos, Nigeria.